Hey guys, Midway Piper back with you today. Hope all is well. Excuse me, little tobacco there. Anyways, couple quick things to talk about today. But first things first, we'll do some housekeeping. What am I smoking today? Today, this is my Greywoodie poker. Light's not so great out here. It's pretty overcast today. Yeah. I do like me this pipe quite a bit. There's a reason I'm smoking this one today, but we'll get to that in a minute. What am I smoking in it? That's the mystery. After my last discussion about, of course it's going to start raining now, about my dislike of small batches from Cornell and Deal. I blame Onion for this 2 a.m. pipe on the patio. Warp Scarecrow. He was smoking this in his video the other day, and yeah. Alright, well hopefully this rain won't last too long. Yeah, right. Anyways, couple quick things I wanted to share with you guys. First of all, why am I smoking this pipe today? One, because I felt like it. Two is because Nathan Davis of Greywoodie and now Kwoodie has a podcast, radio cast, whatever, and they just put out a new episode with Leonard Wartzel of STG, explaining the whole McBaron Sutliff thing, which I'm so tired of, but nonetheless, it is a direct phone interview with those guys and Leonard. So, with all the rumors abounding and whatnot, I've listened to the first little bit of it. I haven't got all the way through it, but it explains the reasonings and everything that happened with the McBaron takeover. So, watch that. Take it for what it's worth. It's probably the best you're going to get. Let's stop spreading rumors, and it is what it is at this point, so let's just move on with life. Cool. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, that was the first thing I wanted to talk about. It's interesting, I was talking with, or emailing with Jonathan, and I've almost come to this conclusion that as much as we like having variety of tobaccos to choose from, I almost wonder sometimes if it's a burden. It's been very Americanized. How many blends can we have? How many varieties? How many different names for the same mixtures can we put out? And anyways, sometimes I think it would just be easier if you had like a couple options to choose from. Anyways, as I say, smoking a small batch, but whatever. The stuff's not bad at all. I do have to say I love the smell of the tin. The taste is okay. It's certainly, as with most aromatics, nowhere near as wonderful as the scent would lead you to believe, but it's still pretty good stuff nonetheless. All right, so that was sort of the first thing to talk about. Got sickness spreading through the house. My son woke up with had a fever the other day. Was it Thursday night? Came home from, had school, went to swim practice, and came home, was super grumpy, in a bad mood. And he had a fever. And you know, we have gone through a lot of I talked about it on the other channel. I'll probably do a rehash of it on this channel at some point when it's not raining. But he was diagnosed with something called periodic fever syndrome. And after a couple of years of dealing with that, which is pretty much an autoimmune issue, where his body spikes fevers and for no apparent reason. And so we got his tonsils out. That's why I was in the city the other week. He got his tonsils out for that. And nobody knows why that seems to fix the problem. It's about like an 85% chance that it will fix the problem. And so when he spiked a fever, yeah, we were not happy about that. The thing that we always did when he did get a fever was give him a dose of prednisone. And if it was the periodic fever syndrome, then that would make the fever go away. He'd still be off for a couple of days, but he wasn't spiking fevers anymore. And so, you know, you sort of ask the question, okay, well, how do you know this is that? Is that what this is? If it is that, the prednisone should knock it out, and he should not spike a fever again. So we very sadly gave him a dose of prednisone on Thursday night. He was having the hardest time falling asleep. I think it was about midnight. We're finally like, all right, let's just try the prednisone and see what works. And he passed out for the night, which was great for sleep. Not a good sign as far as what was going on. But if it's something not related to that periodic fever syndrome, then eventually a fever will come back. It just sort of masks it knocks the fever down for a while, masks the symptoms, but they'll come back if there's something else wrong. And so he woke up in the morning and he had a fever again. So in an odd twist of fate, we were happy that his fever was back. And yesterday, I mean, he looks like a mess. He's got a really bad cold, is what it is. And I don't know why kids spike fevers for everything, but they do. He was just up at 102.7. It's a cold. It's amazing how, you know, these fevers. Anyways, nonetheless, wow. Pretty surprised by that. I just did a lot of talking and didn't expect it to be lit still. All right, cool. Very nice work, Jonathan. Nathan, just joking. That was Nathan. Anyways, so that's that. I can feel something coming on. Yeah, that's great. I can't wait for that. As I'm sitting out here in the rain recording this. Oh well. So, yep, sickness is spreading through the house. My wife may be getting something. It might be a sinus infection. She normally skips colds and goes straight to sinus infections, so I guess we'll be paying our dues to the medical system again soon for that. Yay. There's a woodpecker in the tree right over here. I don't know, you guys probably can't hear it. The microphone does on the camera, on the phone, does a very good job of tuning out a lot of background noise. The other day I mentioned about a jackhammer in the background, and when I went back and watched the video again, you couldn't hear it. So anyways, so yeah, he missed school on Friday. No school on Monday. So hopefully by Tuesday he'll be in good enough shape to get back to it. We're expecting maybe 6 inches of snow on tomorrow night into Monday. So that'll be fun. I'll go up to work and clean up snow on a day off again, so yeehaw. Yeah. So real quick, now that the rain has taken a brief break, I've been doing some reading. I finished several books that I was reading before over the last couple of days. I started reading some of the Bram Stoker short stories. Just about finished one of those, so that's good stuff. The other book I'm reading, though, I think I showed you guys this in another video, but let me uncover it now that the rain's held off for a second. Oh boy. The other book I'm reading, Baptized into Christ, A Guide to the Christian Life by Jordan Cooper. He's a Lutheran theologian. But based off some of the stuff I talked about in previous video, put that down for a second. I read this last night and it really hit me. So I just want to share this with you guys real quick. And if religion isn't your thing, go watch, scratch that, go listen to the Greywoodie interview with Leonard Herzl from STG. And it is what it is at this point. So let's move on. All right. If you are interested, thanks for sticking around. Just wanted to read this little section to you. Cool. So it says, Paul mentions that it was particularly the commandment of covetousness that caused him to understand the reality of his sin. We often evaluate our goodness by pointing to the sins of others. If you ask someone if they think they're a good person, you'll often get the answer, well, sure, I haven't killed somebody. We like to try and think we haven't committed those really evil sins, and those small ones don't really matter that much, do they? On Judgment Day, we think God is going to look at all people, and upon seeing how everyone has fallen short, he will say, well, at least these people aren't as bad as some of those others. But God doesn't use other people as a standard. He only judges by one standard, his law. God's law leaves no excuses, and it doesn't let you off the hook just because you haven't committed murder or adultery, at least not physically. Coveting gets to the heart of the issue. It's not something that we typically think of as a big deal. No one sees it, and it's really easy to hide. When Paul saw that coveting was forbidden, he realized that his view of sin was all wrong. Sin is not an issue of external behaviors, but of the heart. And as the prophet Jeremiah tells us, the heart is deceitful and wicked. The law shows us that we are dead in sin. So I don't know about you guys, but I know, personally speaking, I've kind of told myself that I'm not doing any of the big bad ones, so, so that hit me kind of hard last night as I read that. And then one other quick passage I want to read, and this is, two other quick passages. The law shows us that we have no righteousness to offer to God and that we cannot save ourselves by our own strength. The gospel shows us that the righteousness we need to stand before God is not our own, but is given as a free gift of God's grace. In short, the gospel is the message of what Jesus Christ has done for the salvation of the world. He was born of a virgin, lived a sinless life, died on the cross, rose from the grave. The gospel does not contain any commandments or admonitions, but it is a pure promise. The term gospel means good news. Differences and similarities between the law and the gospel. The distinction between the law and gospel is something which is essential for us to grasp in the Christian life. If we neglect the law, then we might be tempted to forget all moral norms and abuse the gospel. We no longer see the gospel as a solution to sin, but as an excuse to sin. If we neglect the gospel, on the other hand, then we become legalistic, focusing only on morality and leaving people without hope of salvation. One way in which the law and the gospel can be helpfully divided is by looking at their similarities and differences. So that last little bit hit me pretty hard as well. It sounds pretty simple of a concept, but I think I've mentioned in previous videos, growing up Jewish, the legalistic law for what? You get all the rules and restrictions, hopeful salvation, but nothing really talks about what salvation means. What does it look like? Just hope that, eventually the Savior is going to come, and hopefully it was worth following the commandments and the rules. And something with that always seemed incomplete to me. And then as you look into and follow a lot of the rules and restrictions, especially as you go into the more orthodox communities, so much more emphasis is put on things that rabbis have said in commentaries than what's actually said in the Bible. And that always seemed a huge turn-off to me too. So that kind of hit me hard last night, reading that as well. It was a hard night of reading last night, let's say that. So, yep, that's pretty much it. It's wet out here. So, I think that's pretty much it for as far as things to say, discuss today. I missed yesterday. I missed the Falcon Friday. I was actually going to break out the Falcon and do that today, but Greywoodie poker, Greywoodie interview, and honestly, and I don't know why, I don't smoke this pipe as much as I should. So here we are, smoking it today, and that's about that. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'm gonna go take some more Zycam and try to keep this cold away. So that all being said, thank you guys. I'll try to do a video I don't know. We'll see what's happening Monday after I get all the snow cleaned up. Maybe I'll come out and do a video in the snow so you guys can see the beautiful snowfall tomorrow. I don't know. We'll find out. Anyways, talk to you later.